was young and growing up, my brother was my best friend, always standing side by side. We would rise before the sun and hang out till day's end, well, having the time of our lives, skipping rocks together across Scott's flattened lake. He was Billy, I was Jesse James, pretending to rob those banks. And we would play a game of hide and seek, count to 10, do not peek, catch a ride on that old tire swing. We'll go fishing in the neighbor's pond and build a tree fort in the yard and race home for supper when the day was done. Yeah, just living our lives forever young. We had a younger sister, our third musketeer, all for one and one for all, always there to look both ways, make sure the coast was clear, to pick her up when she'd fall. Pillow fights every night, cheap shots to the head, staying up late eating candy bars while jumping on the bed. And we would play a game of hide and seek, count to 10, do not peek, catch a ride on that old tire swing. We'll go fishing in the neighbor's pond and build a tree fort in the yard and race home for supper when the day was done. Yeah, just living our lives forever young. The time marches on and the years go by fast. The days get shorter and the memories pass. Now I'm all grown up, the daughter of my own. How I live to see her smile. Josie takes me to a place that's been gone for so long, that I've been missing for a while. With a tug on my shirt sleeve, Daddy, how was your day? Would you like to go outside and play a game of hide and seek, count to 10, do not peek, catch a ride on that old tire swing. We'll go fishing in the neighbor's pond and build a tree fort in the yard and race home for supper when the day was done. Yeah, just living our lives and know what a beautiful life, living our lives forever young. Forever young. Forever young.
Hey, good evening. Man, I tell you, this week has been fun. This is only Tuesday. um, this week I am on call at work, but uh, my lovely bride, my second dove to my dove, is out tonight. She is getting together with some ladies from church, and they're having a movie night. I think they're watching a movie from Tim Hawkins. Some of you may know who Tim Hawkins is, a comedian. But anyway, they're getting together, and I think they're just having some popcorn and just enjoying some time together, some desserts. But I guess I get to spend my evening with you, and I always look forward to these. I don't do them too often, and I need to do them more often. I'm hoping that some people will pop in here, and we can have some good conversation. The garden, the fall is upon us. Although I think this weekend we're supposed to get back up to near 90 degrees. It's been, I think, in the 70s the past couple of days. Last night, I know when I woke up this morning, we were sitting probably around 46, 47 degrees. It was a little chilly, but boy, I look forward to it. It's so enjoyable. I enjoy the cool weather versus the blistering 108, 105. Anything that says 100 something is too hot for me. But it's been a fun week so far. I've been busy. I'm taking on more responsibility at work. One of my coworkers decided to retire, and I drew the short stick, I guess. I don't know. More responsibility. I get to do the things he was doing, plus the things that I was doing already. I think there's a few things that he was doing for our team that maybe somebody else picked up, maybe my boss picked up, but I'm kind of doing the bulk of it, I think. So it's one of those things. We all get to go through life and working on different things. So, but that's been, where my week has been going. It's been an opportunity to learn some new skills. I thought I knew Excel pretty well before. I have a new appreciation for more advanced Excel, doing some data reports and things like that. But it's all good. I'm hoping to hear some stories from you guys. I know our fall garden is kind of getting into place. We have put some plants out there. We have some fall green beans, bush beans, and we're starting to get those. Our green beans this summer did not do well at all. We had way too hot of weather. We did not get very many green beans at all. We did get a few other things, though. I mean, we got some good okra. We picked up an air fryer, and I have been enjoying some air fried okra. And it's really good. There's a restaurant that's just up the street from us a little bit, and they have this a jalapeno ranch dip, and so we'll go buy some of that and bring that home for nachos, or when we have things like the fried okra. It's really, really good. And that's the way I like it, a little spicy. Speaking of spicy, did you guys see a report? There's a new hottest pepper that got recognized by Guinness. I saw that in the news today. Historically, people would tell you, and it's been this way for quite some time, the Carolina Reaper pepper has been the undisputed champion of heat and Scoville units. I think the Carolina Reaper comes in at about 1.3 million Scoville. I don't eat anything like that. That hurts. But this new one, the same guy that developed the Carolina Reaper, developed a new pepper, and I think they're just calling it Pepper X. And that pepper, I think when they measured it, came in at 2.6 Scoville, 2.6 million Scoville. Uh, that's insane. I read the report, the article where he was talking about having eaten only, apparently only 5 people in the world have sampled this pepper. And he was saying that when he sampled it, it hurt, no doubt. And he felt it for hours. And so at some point, he was having bodily response to it. He had to go outside, and it was cramps. He was just cramping up. The heat from the peppers was making his body just cramp up, and he said it was not very pleasant. I'm thinking to myself, why? I mean, I love good peppers. I love jalapenos. I love, the taste of peppers, but 2.6 million Scoville units. I guess I'm not a hot heat pepper aficionado. I like spice. I like some zip. And Sarah will tell you that oftentimes when we have something, some type of food, I'll say, hey, this is great, but it's missing something. And she knows when I say that it means that it needs some jalapeno or it needs some spice. And so that's kind of a family thing where if I say something's missing something, it's probably because I think it needs a little spice to it. I love stuffed jalapenos or stuffed peppers. Sweet peppers are just so good on sandwiches and things like that. So yeah, just that was an interesting report that I read, that new Pepper X. I'm thinking it's probably, they said it's stronger than military grade or, like pepper spray. They use pepper spray for self-defense. It's stronger than bear spray. And I'm thinking, I don't think I'm going to put that in my body. But anyway, that was just a side note that I saw. And some other interesting news. Bees. Have you seen that honeybees have been in the news lately? There's several things about honeybees that have caught my attention. It was interesting to note that I saw an article on honeybees and using bee venom to treat cancer. That is, it caught my attention. Cancer is such an awful thing. I know I lost my grandmother to cancer, my mother to cancer. They both had breast cancer. And I know of other people, other family members that have had cancer, and it's just awful. So they're making such progress in the treatment of cancer, and so it really caught my attention. This note about using bee venom to treat cancer. I want to dig into it some closer and see how things are going. Hey, Nanya, Jake. Good to see you here. You just missed my talk about the new hot pepper. I don't know if you saw the article about that, the new thing that's hotter than Carolina Reaper. It's called Pepper X. Yeah, that's 2.6 million Scoville. It's like, I don't think I'm going to be eating that anytime soon. But yeah, I guess it's the same guy that created the Carolina Reaper. So yeah, no, not for me. Now, I do love, jalapenos, and I like a little spice. I like it when I eat something and my head starts to sweat a little bit and I might get a little perspiration on my lip. That's pretty good. But yeah, no, 2.6 million, no. So anyway, yeah, honeybees. This article I saw was talking about the treatment of cancer using bee venom, and I need to dig into that some more. I had a guest on a live last year, and the recording is on my channel, but she did apitherapy with bee venom, trying to treat her Lyme disease, and just a sweet young lady, married, actually lived in Texas for quite a while. I think she may be from Texas, but she lives in New York now. And whenever she comes home, she tries to find people that will give her bees to do her treatments for her Lyme disease. So it was really interesting. And I'm really fascinated by the medical uses of honeybee and bee products, whether it's bee venom or even honey. There's a guy down in research, and I think he's in Austin, and I may try to reach out to him and see if I can get him on the show. He's doing some research on Texas honey and medicinal properties of Texas honey. Kind of like, I think a lot of people know about Manuka honey and how it's got some medicinal properties. Well, he's doing some research on Texas honey, and he's been coming up with some pretty fascinating stuff. And I think he's pretty approachable, and I may reach out to him and see if we can have a conversation with him. Just kind of interesting. I do know there's been some research on, was it Snow on the Prairie and maybe Bodark, where they're looking at some medicinal purposes for that stuff. And honeybees will often gather, pollen and nectar from these sources. So it kind of makes sense that there may be some medicinal purposes from Texas honey. So I'm looking forward to, getting some more info on that. Pretty fascinating. So anyway, that was kind of one of the things I'd been looking at. Another thing I saw was, and given the situation in our world, and I know, Jake, I know you keep up on this stuff with Israel and Palestine and Gaza. It's pretty nasty out there right now. But one of the things that caught my attention too was bomb sniffing bees. I don't know if you've heard of that, where they're taking bees and they've got this whole device, and they can train the bees to do bomb detection. They can use bees to go out and they put them into this device, and it's like a sniffer. It goes and collects air samples, and it's got this really fancy sensor where it watches the bees, and the bees, they can watch them, and if they stick out their tongue, that they're trained, they know that there's the presence of explosives. Yeah, definitely a bad situation right now. And I don't want to make light of it either. It's really scary, and I feel so bad. It's one of those things. I don't want to speak negative of anybody, but if you're going to poke a bear and throw a bunch of missiles at somebody and kill a bunch of people and don't expect to be retaliated against, you got to screw loose somewhere. And I think that Israel is definitely one of those where they have to be very careful and cognizant of their situation. They're not in a good spot. Anyway, yeah, thanks for showing up, Jake. I know it's a little early. I just finished my dinner, and like I said, Sarah was gone out tonight. But so you get me. So we'll talk to you again soon, Jake. By the way, Jake, I don't know if you know about the thing we're doing with the Northeast Texas Skillshare. That's coming up. If you haven't, get with Monica. We got some good stuff going on. So speaking of the Skillshare, we have a very interesting training opportunity, a learning opportunity for anyone that might be here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, specifically more towards northeast and kind of in the Dallas-Collin County area. We are having a Skillshare. It's our third one that we've ever done. This one, we got together as a group, and times are tough for a lot of people right now. The cost of things in the grocery stores and the cost of just even filling your car, although the price of gas has come down recently, but just the inflation has been awful, and it's hurting a lot of people. That said, one of the things that we want to do is get together and share some opportunities, share some training, share some information on how to make money from your home or homestead. And we got some really good presenters. I was able to set up a time at a place with an acquaintance that I have here in Collin County, and he's doing some really cool stuff. And I don't want to get into a lot of details with what he's doing on this show, but one of the things he has as a facility over in Fairview. When I first got there, it's like, am I in the right spot? It's actually in a shopping center, but this facility is amazing. It's got a lot of stuff just right up our alley. They've done some other stuff kind of like what we're doing. You know, they've done chicken processing. They've got their setup so in a kitchen they can have a camera shooting up from above an island, and so everyone can see what's going on. It's plenty of space, and he's providing it to us at no cost. But what we're doing is we want to be able to share some good stuff with the people in our area and give them some ideas and maybe bring some hope or vision or help people to dream about what's possible from their home or homestead. And if you haven't seen it, I don't know if I've got I don't think I put up the link here, but watch our channel and watch our Facebook page, Two Doves, Bees and Gardens on Facebook. There's some information and a QR code and all kinds of good information about what's coming, what the classes are going to be. The presentation that I'm going to give is 101 ways to make money from your home or homestead. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Some really cool stuff. So if you're in our area, that's an opportunity for you. Oh, goodness. Bees, then this fall around here, I don't know if it's fall or just kind of mild summer. We're about to get back into the 90 degrees or at least close to 90 degrees this weekend. It's been 70 in the 70s here this week, past few days, but we're supposed to get back up into near 90. And it's a good opportunity for me to get out and do a good check on my bees. I need to get in there. I want to see where they are for their honey stores for the winter. I won't take any more honey from them. Anything that they've collected since I harvested honey will be theirs. And hopefully that will take them through winter. Our winters are typically fairly mild here, and we don't typically wrap our hives. But I need to get in and make sure they have enough honey, and if not, then I probably need to feed them. I don't think I'm going to need to, but I need to look probably this weekend when the weather's nice. Garden-wise, we're cleaning up a lot of garden space. We're planting more garden. I have this affection of figs, and the fig forest that I have, we started a fig forest in this spring. We put in 12 different varieties, and we're expanding that to be double in size. So we'll have 24 different varieties of figs planted in the ground here on the property. And our long-term vision is to be able to offer honey tastings and fig tastings here at our property. We're going to be putting in a gazebo and with electricity and all the good stuff. And we want to be able to share just the taste of figs. Most people, I don't know, a good number of people, their only experience or exposure to figs is fig Newtons. And it's so different. Oh gosh, fresh figs range in taste from kind of savory and honey flavored all the way to extremely sweet berry flavored, raspberry, strawberry, and just about everything in between. Just amazing fruit. And I've grown to love them. We've had a fig tree here in the ground planted, I guess it was probably 2008, 2009. So it's been in the ground for a very long time. And the tree has only died to the ground one time. That's one of the things we hear, a question we get very frequently is, are my figs going to die? Do they make it through winter? And depending on the variety, depending on the size, depending on a lot of different factors, some may die back to the ground. But typically, if they're well established, they will come back in spring. I had the one tree that we've had that, our old one that I was talking about, planted, in 2008, maybe 2009. I cut it down to the ground after Snowmageddon, as we call our really, really, really cold, unusually cold weather we had here a couple of years ago. The tree was damaged to the point where I needed to do something with it. So I cut it down to the ground. In the spring, I had 4 shoots that came back up from the roots, and they got to over 7 feet tall. And that tree produced the best and biggest figs that it has ever produced. It really became another, it's like, oh yeah, we really enjoy this fig. And if you'd asked me 2 years ago, I'd have said, my kids like it and my wife like it, but not for me. This year, it was actually really, really good. So it all depends on how you treat them. One of the things that we found is that in our area for figs in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and probably true with most plants around here, is that you really need to give them a good layer of mulch. So give them some good moisture, good layer of mulch, probably a couple inches thick, and give them some fertilizer twice a year, maybe, and you will be surprised at how well they will do. So like I said, we've got 13 figs in the ground right now, 12 in the fig forest, and our old one. Going to be doing 12 more. I have them all set aside. Altogether, I think I have about 30 different types of figs, and I go through them, and every one surprises me. It's like I go out and we pull the figs in, and it's like, okay, what does this one taste like? Have we had this one before? Because there are a couple that I have out there that I haven't gotten fruit from yet. This is either their first year or their second year, and the figs when they come in it's sometimes really interesting. Usually very, very good. I don't think there's a fig out there that I really don't care for. There was one, I think, that I might have sold. It was Colonel Littman's, which was just kind of mediocre compared to a lot of the other figs that I have. But I may have it. I may have sold it. I don't remember. I'll have to do an inventory. But anyway, so that's, one of the things we're doing in our garden is expanding that fig forest, and probably won't put anything more into the ground until spring. I like to make sure they have plenty of time to establish their roots before we could get, cold weather. So that's on our radar. We put in 2 more raised beds. I got to put in at least 2 more. And then I'm going to be putting in a fence around a good section of our garden just to keep out or at least limit our predatory visitors at night. We have many things that love to eat from our garden, and I don't mind sharing, but when they start to steal everything, then I want to do a little more to be able to collect the fruit myself. So it's all good. What else? The long-term plan is to do that fence around that section of garden. It's going to be eight raised beds. They're all right now. They're 4 feet by 14 or 4 feet by 14 feet. And they have, we've been filling the soil. We do them. Typically, we like to use a hugelkultur method of filling our raised beds, which is, using sticks and logs to help bring up that level so we don't have to fill it completely with compost. And, we usually like to get them started a year in advance. And then in the spring, we, plant in them. And that's worked out really well for us. Our garden methods are slow. One of the things, I think I talk about this pretty frequently, but we're in the process of changing a about a half an acre of field. It's all Bermuda grass and field weeds, bindweed, nutsedge, and we are turning it into a garden and a place where we can do the things like I mentioned, doing the fig tastings and honey tastings. And ultimately, I want to have a nice little show garden. And have people over that, can enjoy it along with us. So that's the long-term plan. But so got 2 more raised beds to put in this winter. I have the stuff to build them. I just need to get out there and do it. And then I've got the stuff to build the fence around that section of the garden. We just finished our rainwater catchment system. I got a video coming out on that. It's almost, 1,500 gallons, almost 1,500 gallons, IBC totes, all connected in a line, so they all fill up and drain equally at the same time. And just finished that up. So we're going to be having a video that comes out talking about how we put all that together. And then I need to run some PVC from that rain barrel. I want to do it so that we can set it up automated, and the rain barrels will automatically water our garden for us. That's the long-term plan. I don't like that we have to go out there and spend a couple of hours every day watering. That's not sustainable, and I really like sustainable gardening. So that's on my radar. I also, right now, it would all be gravity fed, but I want to put in a pressurized tank, and a pump, and get all that stuff lined up. So that'll probably come, maybe in the spring, that we'll look at doing the pressure tank and pump. But it's a long process. And back to talking about that garden, one of the things, and one of the things I wanted to mention is because of that Bermuda grass and field weeds, bindweed, nutsedge, all that stuff does not like to go away. And if you try to plant a garden on top of that, you're likely not to have, you might get some success, but that stuff likes to come back and take over. So if you don't watch your beds, your garden like a hawk, and pull weeds, it will quickly get overrun by weeds. And I don't like that. I like to do things once and then make it maintainable. So we use solarization and occultation to try and kill the weeds and grass before we do any planting. So that means solarization, we put clear plastic down in the summer in the heat and let that sun bake that ground, create a sterile seed bed, which actually, a lot of people have this conception or misconception that you're killing everything in the ground. That's not really what happens. When you're solarizing the ground, you're killing the weeds and stuff, but all of that stuff that dies is actually feeding the soil, and the soil is what's key to being successful in gardening anywhere, really. And here in our clay soil, we have really heavy clay soil here. If I dig a hole, it's like digging a bowl. You fill it with water, and the water will just stay there. So it's that whole process of solarization feeds the soil, feeds all the microbes, gives you a good place to grow your plants, flowers, vegetables, whatever you want to do, fruit trees. But it's a process. It takes time. So we go out there. I had a video just I don't know, a couple of weeks ago where I was put down a solarization patch for our next section of the fig forest. The plastic is still on there. I need to get out there before winter for sure and take that plastic off, and then get that place prepared for spring. So spring gardening is underway even now before winter has gotten here. Preparing your space, getting your soil, killing your garden, the grass and weeds where you want to garden. Now is a good time to do that. So if you haven't started your spring garden, start preparing for it. Start working on it now. Now, especially here in Texas. I know worldwide that's a little bit different story. If you get snow and stuff, you're probably done for the year. We're getting close, if not else. I think my friend in Wyoming was saying that he has already had snow and significant snow. So just depends on where you are. Here in North Texas, we can do some type of gardening almost year round. We're in zone 8A here in our space, but we do something with the garden pretty much year round. What else? Watermelon. We're still getting some watermelon. I still have a couple watermelons out there. Our figs, we're still getting some figs off the fig trees. Our bush beans are producing, so we're getting some bush beans. We just made some cucumber bread. If you haven't tried cucumber bread, many people get so many cucumbers they don't know what to do with them. Look up some info on cucumber bread, and if you need it, let me know, and we'll send you a recipe for cucumber bread. It is so good, and it's a way to use your overabundance of cucumbers if you happen to be so blessed. What else do we have growing out there? That's the bulk, I think, of what we have right now. There are some herbs. I want to experiment with creating some stevia drops, creating sweetener drops using stevia. I saw somebody that was creating some stevia drops, and I want to do that. And we've got some stevia out there. So that's on my list of things. I also want to play with creating some comfrey salves. My knees they're not what they used to be. And a comfrey salve, I think, might do some good. It's an external, you rub it down, rub it up where it hurts, and it should help. It's, what I've heard anyway. I want to try it. So that's on my list of things to do, is to try a comfrey salve. We're still making some teas from the garden. An interesting thing, back to figs. Have you ever seen anyone create fig leaf tea? We do. I don't enjoy it so much. I think I prefer it mixed with something, but Sarah really enjoys it. So I go out and I pull off leaves from the fig trees. We dry them in our dehydrator, crunch them down and store them. And then, whenever she wants to create a fig tea, she just goes and grabs them, puts them into a tea. It's like a metal tube that I bought for her some time ago. It's like a tea ball. But so she puts it in there and creates herself a glass or mug of tea. Mint. I love the mint. We've got mint out there too. So that's on my thing to harvest as well. So our herbs are doing really well. That's really the bulk of where we're at right now. Just going through and continuing to learn and prepare for our garden, growing our garden, and sharing our garden. We want to do another garden tour. We were on the garden tour here in town where people came in and got to tour around our place. We would show them where things were doing, what we were doing, how we were doing things, and we got a lot of very positive response. And so we want to continue to do that. I've got some big ideas on creating some very cool spaces for the garden and being able to share that. And that's kind of what we want to do. So anyway, that's really kind of where I wanted to touch base and just take an opportunity to connect with you guys. One other interesting thing, and I may save this, we were talking about soil and soil health. We did something interesting, and we haven't shared it yet. We did a soil test with multiple places where you can get soil testing done. And the results we got were astounding. I don't want to necessarily give it away right now, but if you were to take a soil sample and throw it up in the air and guess what was coming out of it, you would never guess what happened with our soil test. I still can't believe it, and I still don't know really how to answer or put my mind around what we got. So that's kind of a little teaser that we've got some really fascinating, interesting information on soil health and soil sample soil testing. And that's going to be coming out very soon. Sarah, that's Sarah's baby, so to speak. It's been one of those things we're learning so much about soil and soil health and how it affects your plants in your garden. And we wanted to do some things, and I still can't believe what came out of it. So a little teaser, keep an eye out for that. We've already shot a lot of video for it. We need to do a little bit more. We're actually going to have a CEO from a soil testing company come and visit with us, and we're going to talk about it. It's just very interesting. I still I don't want to keep harping on it. Very interesting stuff. Keep an eye out, and we can't wait to share that with you. And I think since I don't think I see anybody else here right now, and I appreciate you guys that will come afterwards and watch this later. If you have any questions, just feel free to give us a shout. Watch for that Skillshare. It's there's some cool stuff coming out about that. That's November 4th in Fairview here in Collin County with just some really awesome people. And we just really want to bless some people and teach some people and and bring some hope and some dreams. And we hope that is what's going to happen. So watch for that. And I guess for now, I will sign off and look forward to talking to you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My email address is john@twodoves.com, TWODOVES, just like what we have here, twodoves.com. Or you can reach out on Facebook. We're also on Facebook, Facebook 2 Doves Bees. And we'll look forward to talking to you again soon. I appreciate it. And we'll see you later.